And we are live. Sorry about the late start, folks. We just got talking a little bit beforehand. The two or three of us, P.S. Melter, Risey, and we got Brendan here, although he's muted. Again, sorry I didn't get Namor or Voltron done on Friday. The 10-person panel just got a bit away with me. So I hope everybody is doing well this Monday afternoon, although it looks a bit blah outside where I am and here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Although it's afternoon for me, it's not afternoon for some of you. I think, Risey, it's like in the morning on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like literally 1 a.m.
So,
yeah, I got 11 a.m. my time, and it's rainy.
Okay, and let's see.
Well, did you go on any other streams, man? After we ended ours and hung out with Brad, did you go somewhere else or did you go to sleep?
Me? No, I never. What, today?
Yeah. After we jumped and said we're gonna go hang out with Brad, and we left that chat after we went off air. Just wondering, because
No.
and...
Yeah, no. I was just offline, talking to someone for, which got away with me like for hours. I didn't even notice the time until we both looked at the clock, and I was like, "Oh, damn."
Okay, well, we got a bit of a chat here. Shouldn't we? JP4 said, "Shouldn't we be live now?" John Dillard says. John Dillard says, "What's up, JP?" ERT says at JP4, "Astute observation." Trusty Sidekick says, "Hey guys." ERT says, "Buenos dias," at Trusty Sidekick. John Dillard says, so P.S. Melter jumps into Brad's stream last night, asking if I saw the live stream on Crypto's comic channel. Did any of you guys have an opportunity to watch the stream? I'm pissed right now. Okay, why are you pissed, John? Exactly. And who are you pissed at? JP says, "Hi, John. Hi, Ortiz." I typed in the chat, "Be live in a minute or less." JP4 says, "Can't wait for long." Trusty says, "John Dillard, I didn't see the late night drawing stream, only part of the Alterna stream." John says, "What the heck's going on with Comicsgate? Shaking my damn head." JP says, "I'm in caps because my drawings are in caps." Hi, Risey. Bean says, "Hello, everyone." And says, "Hi, Risey Lee." And John says,
Bean.
And yes, hi, B. Bean, I should say. Bean from PA's, Pennsylvania, right?
I always assume so.
Melter?
What's up?
Does PA for a state stand for Pennsylvania?
I believe so, but I'm not 100% if that's where she is or... Oh, she said yes, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it meant.
I'm about 90.
Okay, Bean saying yes, and John saying, "So is all that garbage for views, or do that many people actually have a problem with EVS?" Trustee says, Rick, you don't have to read every chat." Okay, so
yeah,
we're caught up with the chat.
Yeah, John. I think we probably shouldn't talk too much about it in person because, like, you know how if you saw how it was and how we all try to agree to, to be a truce, we can't just be like talking. And because if we get talking, we may get a little heated, and if we say the wrong thing, the last thing we need is them to be like trying to get a receipt on us just so they can start mess with us again. Or, well, not us again, or at least some of us again, and some of us for the first time because they haven't messed with me, but I was on there, and there were some things I didn't that happened that I didn't like, and there were some things that happened I was fine with, but yeah, we kind of agreed to be be a truce, and that's how it ended last night. You know, well, I hope so. What do you think, Rice? It didn't seem like we were agreeing on a truce.
Well, I agreed to it.
Yeah.
As
I
long
mean-
as, like I said, as long as people leave everyone else alone. I'm like I said, I don't want to really say this on the extreme.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm trying. That's why we shouldn't say too much more. I mean, John, E, everybody, anybody, you know, if we are off air, we can talk in private because, you know, this is something we shouldn't be doing. This is very extreme. We should be all having fun and drawing. Well, I'm kind of
Yeah.
like,
I literally just jumped in to say, like, if you want me out of that group chat, Rick, like, you just drop me out because, like I said, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Like I said, I'm just a fan. I'm nobody. Like, that's it. I'm a nobody, man.
You know what? I don't pay attention. I try as much as possible not to pay attention to the drama and not react to it. You know, I might look if it's really big. I might go listen to it, but you know, other than that, you know, maybe
Well,
I'll have
I
my
think I said, like,
maybe
maybe
I'll have
3
my
or 4
opinion or
things.
not. But uh, I've always been one that I ain't gonna stop being friends with somebody because somebody has a beef with them for whatever dumb reason.
Well, and that's how that stream was meant to have ended. Like, was everyone's just gonna leave everyone alone now, and that's gonna be that, apparently.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got here? JP says, damn Canadians and Aussies don't know states. We know states. We just don't know short form for states. Like you probably don't know all the short form for, not that there's many to know, Canadian state provinces and territory short forms. Bean says, oh, there's been a truce. ERT says, hello, Bean. ERT's, was there a war? Bean says, I should tell my trolls that. Hi. JP4
There was
says,
no war.
John says, JP4 says, John, gaming the system, Melter's being a gatekeeper. I don't think so. He's just trying to make sure there is no war or whatever. Get less drama in Comicsgate. Less drama in Comicsgate is always a good thing.
yes.
Yeah, Melter was one of the ones that was actually literally trying to make the peace.
Or ERT says, Bean, you have trolls? John says, I saw the whole load of BS coming from what I thought was our side. I guess I got to rethink this stuff. Bean says, I can do that. Not sure what he's talking about exactly. Yes, E, I guess for the trolls. And John Melter just said in the chat, John, that is fair. I would love to hear your side of this off air. Bean says, hey, that works for me. Ortiz says, P.S. Melter, now I have to go watch the rest of that. JP4 says, nobody cares about Canada. Canadians care about Canada.
I do agree. I think there was a lot more anger towards EVS than it should have been, but you know, everybody was like hyped. So, and I think at least one of us went a little too far. I'm not going to name names, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, if we're going to give people nicknames, that's not the nickname you should give someone, and I'll leave it at that. But everybody, by the end of it, we're like shaking hands, almost everybody, before EVS left. So that was a good thing. That was a really good thing, but there was a lot of things that people have their own beliefs and stuff.
I told everyone to take care after I left, so I left everyone with good intentions.
What time was this stream on?
It was late.
I don't know.
It was
like, literally as I was walking out the door. Like it aired like an hour beforehand. I was pushing people back.
The only reason I ask is because I woke up again in the middle of the night before coming on to Brad's stream. I was on EVS's because he had a stream. Mike was on there, and Antonio and somebody else I didn't recognize. Mike came on in the middle.
Did they talk about, because I didn't watch EVS's stream last night, did he talk about being on and dealing with, or did he not even bring that up?
Well, I came in the middle of it. It was at about, I don't know. That's why I'm asking the time frame. It was, I think, about 4. I think he ended about 5, 4 or 5.
Okay, I'll put the link in there for the I'll put both links because he did 2. Okay, so he did this one video that he did for an hour, the what do you call the expose, and then he did another one that was real live. This was fake live, but he used to prove it. Well, he was trying to prove himself. So that'll go here. You can watch it. I'm just gonna.
You're just gonna put it. Are you gonna put it in the group chat or in?
Well, I just put it in the regular chat just in case anybody else is curious and they didn't see it. That way they can just see it and they can have their own opinion. I'm not telling people what to think. I don't want to tell people what to think. I'm just going to leave it there. The first one's from that other one. This is the one that was actually live, that EVS, and they all talked it out. And I hope that everybody is now peaceful and no one's going to start any mess. Oh, and okay, hey, Drawn Talks here. He said Drama Gate.
Yeah.
Let's make comics. Let's have fun. Let's just have a good time and make comics. Exactly. That's why I was there yesterday, and I was promoting that. And every time I kept on posting when I was in the chat and when I tried to talk whenever I got the chance, I wanted people to be civil, and I wanted people to just bury this stuff and let's all be friends and let's just all draw and read comics together again. And that was my whole purpose of being there, and I was trying to be a neutral party. Thank you for saying that, Drawn Talk. Yeah, we don't need Drama Gate.
Yeah, we get enough of this from the SJWs. We don't need to bring it in ourselves. It lessens the movement.
And that's what I've kept saying, man. Is I'm like, we're a small community in a subsect of pop culture. We're dealing with music, video games, Netflix, all that. Comics is dying, so we shouldn't be pushing anyone out. We should be embracing one another. If someone crosses a line, then yeah, then they should be pushed out. But if they're just a fan that you don't like, ignore them. That's my feeling on it.
Yeah. Well, this is more than just, you're a fan, but, we're dealing with, quote unquote, a creator, people hating the creator for whatever reasons. Like I said, I haven't watched it. I don't want to go in. And you guys don't want to go into too much of it. I don't want to go into too much of it. We're always going to have slightly different beliefs. We got to learn to get along. We got to not treat each other like in Comicsgate, like the SJWs are treating us. They get bent out of shape over all this stuff.
Agreed.
We can't get bent out of shape. It's just a difference of opinion on whatever. Whether you think a comic should have some political leanings or whatever. Well, we don't want. I guess there's, as people have said, there's been lots of stuff, politicness in comics for a long time, but it's not force-fed you, throw down your throat, and it's not comic after comic. It's just a spoonful of medicine, a spoonful of sugar or whatever.
Literally, that's what the X-Men were built on, was like literal politics and genders and stuff, but it was literally fed to us in the right way. Like, it was to develop the characters.
Yeah. So, we just got to learn not to, just, you want your politics in, yeah, okay, fine, but don't make it, and it's not every comic, you can't have, Miss Marvel, X-Men, Spider-Man, Iron Man, all this stuff doing all this. You got to have some, yeah, sure, okay, we had the X-Men where it was all about tolerance and blah, 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 for minorities or whatever. Back in the day.
Yeah, but the way they wrote it, it didn't come off like that. It was just about like, these are the X-Men.
Yeah, and that's part of science fiction and fantasy. You take it out of reality and you get the message across. that way. Even Star Trek did it. They, because it's set in the future, it's a sci-fi universe, futuristic, all this technology. Suddenly, it's not part of reality. Not everybody's feelings get, thing. Okay, these are comics. Yeah, they're not set in reality, but in that sense, but I don't know how to word it. It's just, it's a different, it's force fed, even Star Trek, they just did it underneath,
Well, it's when you go, yeah, you go like, yeah, well, this is a character that you've known for 30 plus years, and now this is the new character that you need to get adjusted to. And it's like, well, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and there's the thing: they're changing all the old characters to stuff instead of just creating a new character, which is that's what probably pisses people off the most, is taking all these old characters and changing them. I know it pisses me off a little bit, but a lot of times I get over myself, but then again, I'm not reading comics.
I don't blame people, because like I seen when they brought in the young X-Men, I thought it was going to be a mediocre small thing, and then they end up lasting in the main universe for 10 plus years to the point they've just left. I'm like, I never wanted kid X-Men. I grew up with adult X-Men as a kid. Why do I want kid X-Men? Who wants kid X-Men?
Well, I could see it as long as it's not like Jean Grey and all that, Well, unless it's showing backstory.
It's a different generation, yeah.
But they are kid X-Men. What they did was they do have a kid Jean Grey. I don't know, the whole thing was that story was that, that was the whole reason Bobby Drake was turned gay. And because they an alternate universe or whatever came and it dropped off the young versions of the original ones of Jean Grey, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, and what, Angel?
Yeah.
No, that was just from the past. Like was it the main universe or just the past? It's hard to tell. Like whenever you mess with time travel, it's always an alternate reality, isn't it?
Yeah, those were the original 5 X-Men in the comic books, and they were all supposed to be teenagers. Okay, John saying, I really don't get where people. John says, I really don't get where people get off confronting EVS. It is because of that man we have ammunition in the fight against the SGWs. Ortiz says, creating a new character requires creativity, something lacking in today's industry. And John also says, Zach dropped the ball when it came to defending our community. Ethan picked it up, and not me, not Crypto, not Elentine.
Englentine.
I don't know who half these. Well, I shouldn't say half, but I just don't recognize the last name. Yeah, he's doing his part. Unfortunately, he's been put out at the forefront. Because he's a big name too. He gets a lot of flack by all these people. Do you want to be the person mentioned? Everybody complains that they think he's a leader of Comicsgate. But that's because of that, he gets mentioned in other articles. Do you want to be the person mentioned in all these articles that, they're coming down on? Do you want to be the person getting all that flack? With, quote unquote, that position, which he's not asked for, and he continually denies being, which I think half puts him more there. He is the one that, they attack first. Or Zach, whatever. These people that get out on the forefront, they're the ones that attack. You want to get out on the front lines, you're going to get attacked. We're all in the background. Yeah, we get attacks here and there, but, nothing towards what Ethan gets, I haven't been called a Nazi yet by anybody, not directly. Oski Langley says, I'm the leader of Comicsgate. Yes, we are all the leader of Comicsgate. And I know we're talking about this, and I'm not sure whether we've been talking too long. It's just the subject of the moment, I guess, and I don't mind. What's are you drawing anything
Well,
there?
honestly, I went over this already, and like I said, I'm just a bloody fan.
Yeah, I'm both. I'm a
You
fan
know what?
and I'm a
That's all I
creator.
wanted to be. I got behind this because I thought it was, yeah. I'm going to shut up. Sorry,
And
Rick.
there's the problem too. On EVS's stream that I was listening to, we've got all these smaller factions of. Oski says, "You're Canadian. What? Much worse than a Nazi." Well, thank you very much. I guess. um, but we're dividing into all these little groups, and
And I
we're
don't think
becoming.
this is healthy for any of us.
Yeah. Instead of being united, and I'm not sure whether
Well, I was
many
speaking to
people.
someone tonight, and they were saying, imagine how much the SJWs are laughing at us right now.
Yeah,
Exactly.
A bloody lot.
I reckon it. I know EVS has done this. Well, not to the same way I'm doing it, but I reckon it to the state of the early church. Paul wrote a letter saying, "You guys are all saying I'm of this person, I'm of that person. Who they wanted to follow, which leader. It's like get it. You say get it together. We're following Christ, not one particular apostle or whatever who's created your church or teacher. In this case, we're all supposed to be loving comics, being creators, and all that. Let's get together and stop fighting, and make, as somebody said earlier, make good comics and have fun. We got to be united because
What the hell are you attacking, Melter?
Uh-huh.
you
What?
just had a whole
keyboard.
bunch. Because
My
united.
keyboard went. Sorry, Rick.
No problem. Because united we stand, divided we'll fall.
Exactly, brother.
No, well, I hope John understands that we were trying. Well, that at the we were trying to get peace by the end of it. And I hope we all get peace now, because there are some that by the end of it that at least one party that was like, no, I'm not, there's not happy with it. But that was mostly between that person and Ethan, but that's that person, so that person doesn't represent all the fantasy community. Yeah, and okay, John said, I don't think any of this is funny. It's a shame that people think we don't have a position to stand on a soapbox and proclaim our feelings important enough to blank up.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. Okay, I don't blame you, man. Yeah, I don't.
Okay. What other thing you said? Okay, I gotta be. You gotta watch your keyboard. You got all that scratching noise or whatever there.
Yeah. No, that's just how it sounds when it goes. That's just my keyboard sound. Sorry about that, but I was just. Yeah. Well, yeah, John, I do agree. I don't think we should be trying to fight each other. And there was at least one very hot individual that was really going there, and you're probably already gone to bed, but yeah, we wanted to end this and try to be all cool with each other, and I hopefully that the person that was really angry, other people that that's on his side and stuff and wants peace can. Let's convince them. Let's just, let's truce this out. Let's just not, or let's make peace, truce this out. Let's just go our separate ways, and let's just end this stupid thing. Let's leave each other alone, because there are certain individuals that have been bothered too, and we don't want them being bothered anymore as well. And it's a bunch of nonsense, and it lasted that long. I'm sorry, it lasted 5 hours or so, but. People are harassing each other on the internet, and we don't want that, and it doesn't help us. And I do agree with that, and that was one of the things that I said we need to make peace, because if we don't make peace and do this, and other people said this too, the people that that want us to fail are going to get that, and I don't want everyone to fail. I want people to buy comics, and that's basically it, man. And a lot of us wanted to feel that way. I mean, most of us did. I think most of us really did. There's a lot of different opinions and stuff on it, but I think this whole stupid trolling each other and whatever nonsense went crazy over the last few months or so, and I think it's 2019. Let's just bury 18 and let's just move on. And John, if whatever happened last night, if you don't feel like you want to do the wrestling thing anymore, just let me know. I hopefully nothing that was said there on behalf of me or Crypto, made you feel that you should not, because we did invite those guys to come watch us.
So I think you were more respectful than me and Rumble.
Yeah, that's because I don't have any ill will towards EVS. In fact, I understand why his comic's late. I never even backed his comic because I didn't get the chance, but I wish I did. But at the same time, at least he's showing his progress and he's trying. And I'm not going to say anything more about what's going on with those groups and whoever is associated. I'm not going to bring up the name because I'd rather not bring up the name. Let's treat this like it's Candyman. You don't say the name. Okay, let's just don't do that. Let's just, I'm just trying to be very, very, very civil and neutral.
Keep talking about this, whatever.
I know, but I'm gonna do it without bashing anyone, and I mean anyone on either side, because even like one of our buddies said something that was far out of line, and you know what I'm talking about, because but
I didn't disagree with that.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be name called. We shouldn't, if you want to have an argument, let's have an argument. Let's have it grown up, but let's not start it off with an insult at the beginning. Now let's just say, well, this is my issue, and let's go with. I understand getting heated and stuff, but with that, we should have done some of it. It's just like the same thing that EVS had to deal with England team. On Ricada Law, that stuff went out of hand too. I guess it's like that's one of the things I thought this might have happened. And it did for a bit, and then it cooled off. Then it happened a little bit again, but then it cooled off. And by the end of it, we were all cooled off. We all had our own opinions. Everybody has, and stuff.
Well, I wasn't even there for the whole thing. I had to go out. I will talk about that another time because I don't want to. Well, you can watch the rest of the video. How about just watch the rest of the video? Let's not talk about it anymore. What, did you bash me after I left? God damn it, typical Melter.
Hey, watch the language. But no.
I said bash.
No,
I think he's talking about the JD.
Yeah, the GD word, language. No.
Wait. What? Where's that?
You said the Lord's
name. Damn it. Sorry, Rick.
Yeah, okay. So, no. You just rewatch the video when you left, and then just keep it from there. So, because we were talking way too much about this stuff, and Rick should be drawing.
About all the people that jumped in, and I don't want to watch the whole thing. So, how long have I got to watch?
I have no idea, man.
I'll watch the whole thing.
Because I think about it. I don't even think it's an hour. Less than an hour, I'm going to go to the gym.
I wasn't out for long.
Okay. Since John's probably still here and there's a few other people, for those who haven't, I'm going to do a video anyways, but I'll just go ahead and say it so I can because I'll post it later anyways. For Drawing Blood, Drawn and Quartered Wrestling Edition that I host on Testosterone Overload's channel. We lost Brandon. Oh, well. I'll tell him later. All right. But all right. I said Monday I will announce who will we be drawing on Friday, and it's a big thing because he's coming back to Raw to pay tribute to Mean Gene anyway, so it ties into what we did last week. We're going to be doing Hulk Hogan because he's coming back to WWE. WWE's forgiven him. He's going to be back again, just not as a wrestler, but since it's big news and it ties into what we did last week with Mean Gene, we should draw Hulk Hogan. So don't forget, if you're going to be an artist and you're going to draw, you don't have to draw him wrestling. Remember, Hogan did movies and TV shows. So if you want to draw him as Suburban Commando or Thunder in Paradise or Mr. Nanny or whatever, here's your chance to do that. Have some fun. Remember, my channel is neutral territory. You do not talk about drama. You do not talk about anything besides pro wrestling. That's my role, and that will always be my role. I don't care if we're drawing and someone you're drawing against, you don't like them. You don't talk about it. You guys just get there, and we draw and we entertain this new audience we're trying to attract. These wrestling fans on this channel, so they can hopefully buy one of you guys' books, and that's the whole purpose. And it's going to be again 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, because I talked to Chester, and I guess you guys are going to have meetings every Friday, so we're going to try to have it around 10:30 or so p.m. Eastern time.
Wait, guess what I found this morning?
What's up?
I was cleaning out my room, taking out the beer bottles from the weekend, finally, and throwing them in the bin. And guess what was in the top of the bin? My
Snake.
pack of cigarettes that I've been missing since New Year's Eve. I was like, hells yeah. I've not smoked them yet, but I'm like, when I get desperate enough, I'll be smoking those bad boys.
Well, if you're trying to quit, why don't you just throw them out then? That way you don't smoke them.
Well, I'm thinking maybe that I was wasted and I had that intention in my mind at the time. And
Well,
then,
have you-
literally...
Have you
I've
smoked
not
any?
stopped smoking.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I found a
haven't
way
stopped?
to get cigarettes. Yeah. No, I've just set myself broke buying more packs of cigarettes that I didn't need to buy.
Then you don't have to worry about buying more cigarettes for a while, then, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've got 3 pouches now. I'm like, I've got cigarettes for probably a month or 2.
Well, that's good. Save the
Yeah,
money.
I know. But I'll probably smoke more.
Oh.
You can smoke more and drink more, and then be the fun riser we all love.
Yeah, I don't think everyone loves that, Rosie.
To an extent, sometimes you do get out of hand. Like that night John was telling you to shut up constantly. That was funny. I'm sorry, but I had to mute you so he would sometimes, because he kept on telling you to shut up. I was just like, look, I muted him. You don't have to keep yelling, John, to shut up.
I barely even remember it.
Yep, that was the other day on my channel with the F-bombs again. We came up
the other day.
I
thought it was like a week ago.
Friday. Was it Friday, I think? The new meme, mute Risey.
Damn it, that's Brad's meme.
Yeah. When we jumped the channel and said, yeah, Rising, and then she'd come back on, she'd be coming on too. And he said, that's cool, I'll just mute him.
I'm glad I didn't bloody pop on, because I was literally saying that offline. I was like, no, I'm not going over there. Brad's just going to bloody mute me.
We've got the upper guys got their kicker Nasser. Now we've got the mute Risey.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it was yeah. I mean, you sometimes you have to find a good balance, Rosie, because I don't know, man. I don't know how much you drink all the time, but dude, it's gonna add up eventually. It's gonna kick you bad. Trust me, man.
Brother, trust me, man. I've been riding this Devil's Angels tail for a long time. The devil's gonna come due one day.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about that. The best thing I can do in the meantime is to try to not make too much of a out of myself.
Well, there's one thing you can do. You can actually try and quit, You don't have to drink.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, it is fun. Yeah, it is fun for a while, but then like the next day it's not fun. And constantly taking money out of your paycheck all the time for beer is not fun when you could, be buying something else and trying to find other ways to enjoy yourself. And that's hard too, even for me. It's like you know, I'm pushing back drinking because I was drinking heavily for the last few years, and I've been
Oh,
pushing
brother,
it back.
trust me. I've tried every lifestyle. Tried every lifestyle. The normal one. I tried the 9 to 5. I tried the finding a girlfriend, settling down, and none of it works for me. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I'm a weirdo, and I'll never change. I've got sporadic personalities. Like sometimes I wake up a different person the next day than I was the night I went to sleep. And people
Well,
can't deal with that, and I don't want to ask anyone to deal with that. So I'm like, that's where I'm like, I'll sit back and I'll just be me, you know. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask anyone to try to
Yeah.
put up with my garbage.
well, I hope you understand, Rosie. I want you to know that I hope that there never comes a day in a near future because of the constant drinking that one day it's like, where's Risey, and we never hear from you again
I'll
because
get
like,
my brothers to put a lad out on my Twitter or something.
oh, I don't want that to happen, man.
Yeah.
I don't. I want you to be around with us, man. I want us all to be like, I don't know, let's say 10 years after all this mess is cleared, we're all still hanging out on YouTube, drawing our comics. You're doing your whatever, your clicks and stuff. Maybe maybe something's changed in your life a little bit where you're happy, where you don't have to get drunk. And trust me, I
Dude,
would love
I
that
was
for
this
you.
way
I would love
for a
that
little
for you.
while, and then yeah, like I said, like so much drama happened in our own circles, where to the point where I was like, well, I'm like, I can't find any people in anywhere. Like if I can't find them on the internet, where will I find them? You
Yeah,
know?
you can always
I'm like,
find
if
us
there's
on
gonna be
the internet.
drama everywhere, there's gonna be drama everywhere, dude. And I
Yep.
don't want to like ask anyone to like put my baggage on them because it's not the type of dude I am. I'm the type of guy that just wakes up every morning and puts his own baggage. I'm the oldest of 6 kids. I'm the guy that gets the baggage put on him, you
I
know?
understand.
And yeah, I'm like, I don't want to ask anyone for that.
Um, I love you, brother, and I want you to be around us longer. And you got a good heart. You do got a good heart, regardless. Sometimes we all get a little, whatever. But you have a good heart. And you're a nice guy. And I just,
Yeah.
I don't want. I just don't, want you gone away from us, buddy. Because you lift some of us up. You help us out with, even though you're not an artist, you do help us out at some way at some point.
He's an artist. He doesn't draw, but he does do the painting on those clicks, and he's repainting them, and that takes a bit of a talent to get it right too. So you
I'll
know,
appreciate that, guys. Thanks.
you know, maybe it's you. Maybe what you should do. I'm not sure whether you can is take up modeling. Do what JP does. Get yourself models and paint them. And
No.
paint them whacked out stuff,
Well,
neat
that's why I
designs.
do paint, Rick. Like literally, that's why I paint Heracles. Like it takes my mind off of a lot of drama. I'll just sit there and I'll paint some clicks. Sometimes I'll throw the recording on it so I can put it on my YouTubes. But yeah, like that's what I do. Like I've always done that. I'm like I either read a comic or just paint things. But yeah, it's just certain things that have been going on.
Would you like to do? Oh, EOT said that I need to provide a drama-free show for where Rising can flourish. Well, okay, well I could do that on my channel. Um, me and Rising could do something where we could talk about other things or do other things if it makes them, that way. We've already talked about wrestling a little bit, but I don't know if we should just have a little show where me and Rising just talks wrestling because, unless Rising has other ideas he wants to have a little fun on my channel.
Ortiz joked saying, "You can go to Rick's Canadian Rehab Center." I have a Canadian
Oh,
Rehab
I love
Center.
Hmm.
Wow, this is news to me, eh? I got a rehab center, eh?
Like, oh, I'm just addicted to poutine and maple syrup on me, my sausages and bacon, my Canadian bacon. I just came here for French fries and gravy.
Right. Ortiz says, Risey doing walkabouts in Australia.
That sounds fun. Right,
I'd probably get
put
bloody
out
lost.
live stream. You could be like the new
I do my own bloody
Aussie
tour.
man. You could be the new Aussie man reviews. Yeah, it's like Risey reviews.
The new crocodile hunter.
Oh no, we've already got an Aussie man reviews on YouTube. He's bloody brilliant. I'd like to try to get to his level one day, maybe. Actually, no.
Well, maybe you should do something like that. Maybe you should review comics like you're the Aussie man reviews, but you should do it like him. You should get a comic. You should have it out. You should record yourself looking at it, and if you like it or hate it, you can say, "Bloody hell! Look at this. The face isn't even on right. I think something happened to them. I don't know if they just put a fork in an electric socket and shocked their face half off or something." Just be you, man. Just do something like that. That would be hilarious. I think people would love to hear you review comics because I don't think there's an Australian guy out there in the comic book world reviewing comics. And if you can do that and you can put some sense of humor to it, man, trust me, you would blow up and people would rather just hear you
Well,
talk.
I was doing that originally, but I shut it all down because I just didn't want to. Because all I heard was like constant arguments, like if you're going to review comics, you have to eventually make one. I've no intention of ever making a comic. That's why I stopped.
No, you should have kept going because people who say that don't know what they're talking about. That's like saying you can't, as a consumer, enjoy a product. And I'd be like, I'd do one video and saying, well, you're wrong. Everybody can criticize anybody. If it sucks, it sucks. Hey man, I can.
That's the stupidest thing ever. That you have to make a comic to eventually make a comic if you review it. You know, one has what's the name? Those two reviewers, Steele and Schubert or whatever, never made a movie. Yeah, they've never made a movie yet. They do all these reviews.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they sure did. That's another good thing. You got a lot of reviewers on there that just do that. The Angry Joe, the video gamer guy, he doesn't make a video game, but guess what he does for a living? He reviews video games. I'm like, so that means nothing. And I would have said that as like, well, here's a list of people who are known for reviewing stuff. Now, if you're going to say that comic book is a different medium, then you're just a little broken yourself. Sorry, but everybody can review anything, even if they make it or not. If the story sucks as writing, if the art looks bad, that's it. If both of it is that way, okay. Now we need to fix this. Fix this now.
Yeah. All a review is your voice as a consumer. People can choose to listen to it or not. A lot of times I don't just choose to listen to reviewers because most of them don't know what the heaven they're talking about.
Oh, it's been proven that recently. I mean, it's like the Orville. The Orville just had 2 episodes. Oh yeah, by the way, Rick, the first episode was just a special that they aired on Sunday. It's always, I think, Thursday. So there's a second episode available now.
Okay, I got to download both of those. Yeah. I mean, get them. Did I say download? Sorry, that's the wrong word.
I didn't hear anything. So. No, but that's the thing about the Orville. The first season came out, and the critics reviewed them. The critics reviewed them and gave it like one of the worst scores. And a lot of them were like, "Yeah, this series isn't going to last more than the season. It's not good. It's garbage. Blah 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 blah." Fans loved it, and guess what? It went on season 2. And here's the thing: after the first episode aired, and I saw the tweet by Seth MacFarlane, well, let's just write this while we can, because you looked at it, the critics were high on it this season and loving it. I guess because the reason why they do it is they already have a bias out there if it's going to succeed and fail, and they're just going to crap on it anyways. But now, since the fans love it and it's and it's gotten another season and all that stuff, and they got a lot of flack. Now, I guess right now they're just going to praise it anyways, rather regardless if it's good or bad, which it is good in my opinion. But my opinion only matters to like me, and more people like me only matter that will matter for Seth MacFarlane when if he can continue to make this more than just the one season, one more season. I hope he keeps continuing this for as long as it stays fresh. That's all I care. As long as it's good.
It's like it's if you remember the Dukes of Hazzard, it got bad reviews by the reviewers, but people loved it. It's still may not be new stuff today, but people are still. Last time I knew, they used to have Dukes of Hazzard festivals.
Well, they had the one not so great movie as well, but I actually like that movie.
Oh, are you you're talking the one's not the one not with John and Tom in?
Yeah, it's the one that's got who was it? Sean William Scott from American Pie, and I forget the other guy's name. But
technically they had two of them. They had a made straight to video, and technically there's been 4 Dukes of Hazzard movies. There was 2 with the original cast, which were TV, straight to TV. I'm pretty sure straight to TV. And then there was the sucky one that went to theaters, in my opinion, which doesn't remind me of the Dukes of Hazzard at all. And then, of course, there was a prequel to that one, which was straight to DVD.
Yeah, the theatrical one. The only reason I have a little bias of liking it was because the people that kind of worked with it, they had a different set of humor. This was done by the Broken Lizard guys, or at least it was directed by Jay Krishanashaw, or what I can't pronounce his name, but they're known for their a little bit extreme movies like Club Dread, Slamming Salmon, Super Troopers.
Yeah, well, I've seen a bunch of those ones, I think, and I could like it if they didn't call it Dukes of Hazzard, because it's not Dukes of Hazzard, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, that show is now considered politically incorrect now.
Yeah, just because of the flag.
Oh yeah.
My dad had a nickname for the Dukes back when they were originally on, and I give this name to that movie, The Pukes of Hazzard. Trusty says Rick knows way too much about the Dukes of Hazzard. Hey, I grew up watching it. That the A-Team and Knight Rider were like my favorite shows when I was like 8 years old. So, and I've got all 7 seasons of the Dukes. I used to have the 2 movies, but I lent them to somebody and something happened to them. I got to get them again. The good movies. Like there was a Dukes of Hazzard reunion one, and then there was the Dukes of Hazzard Go to Hollywood. So,
yeah. Oh well, I mean, there's lots of good stuff out there, and critics are critics, but Risey, you should definitely you should definitely go back to doing your comic book stuff or something. But just say bump the hate.
I'm looking at that chat, and I'm like, well, if you're gonna call me a bloody SJW, then fuck you. Sorry, Rick, but I'm not gonna be called that ever, not by anyone.
Yeah.
You can go to hell. Not you, Rick, but you know who you are that said it in the chat. And if that's the fucking case, then you know who I am, and that's disgusting because you can backtrack how far onto EVS channel as it goes and find my name in all his chats and his comments and his bloody Hail Caesars. I was there.
You talking about last night or you talking about right now?
No, I'm just reading in the chat. So I'm going to bow out because I feel like I'm going to ruin your stream. So I'm just going to jump out, man. And you know what? To anyone that bloody hates me, fine. Sorry I didn't bend the knee that like I was meant to, but it ain't ever going to happen from me. I'm a bloody real man that bends the knee to no one. And if you've got a problem with that, then that says a lot more about you than it does me. Because the fact is that this movement was set for consumers, creators, not just the bloody goddamn creators of Almighty Caesar. So yeah, I'm out. Love you, man.
What?
I'm
Which?
sorry.
Where is this on my chat about the SJW or somewhere in there, somewhere else?
No, it's Trusty, and it's one of our people that are always in our community. So I'm just going to bow out, and I'm going to leave it like that because he's a good guy, and I don't want to cause rifts. And I've already caused the rift with John is already pissed at me, so I'm just going to jump out, man. Stay safe, all, and yeah, that's it. Love you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't see it either, but you know what? If that's how you feel, Russ, you have a good one, brother.
Yeah, we love you, Risey. You are welcome here anytime. Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Trusty did retract one message. So
Yeah.
as I go up here.
Yeah, I apologize, Rick. If I don't know what I'm apologizing for, but I apologize, Rick. Yeah, I think this is something. Okay, Trusty says Kick said he wasn't referring to Rosie, so he just took it the wrong way. So okay, that's cool. That's cool. Rosie, if you're still listening.
Yeah, Russ, Risey, if you're still listening, Trusty wasn't referring to you. He's sorry that you took it that way. He's apologizing. The reaction was a misspelling. That's why I wanted him to try and stay so we could get to the bottom of it.
I don't know. He's still hyped up from last night. He hasn't had any sleep. He's been drinking all night or whatever. I mean, even some of them were. Well, I know Ramble was drinking by the end of it because I guess it really got him pumped or whatever. But I mean, he wasn't drunk when he said what he said. But and here I'm going talking about that, and I don't want to bring it up too much more. But hopefully, I just really want to say is I hope now everybody can just shut up and get along. And I want to quote Jason Brubaker again because he said the most smartest thing. This is the guy who used to work on what was it, Kung Fu Panda. This guy he makes his own comic book. He didn't do it through Indiegogo. He funded himself, and he's a very nice man. He's a great comic book artist, and he said this: we don't need to be fighting with them. And I'm going to use that logic where he says us versus the SJWs. I'm going to use it in this term here. People that the different parties inside Comicsgate do not be fighting each other. I don't care if you call yourself Comicsgate or adjacent to or whatever. To quote Justin Brubaker, you guys need to shut up, go to your room, work on your books, and come back and bring it. Give it to the audience. If the audience doesn't like it, that means you work on stuff. If some of them do, that's great. And it's all about working. It's not about calling people names. It's not about starting stupid dramas. It's not about telling people they should go whatever and do this or that. This is not about, act like adults here. Act like adults. And I know you just said that won't happen. You have too many personalities. Yes, there are too many personalities. And Twitter is pretty bad about it. And Todd said this too. Todd Maroney, Ignition said this too. And I agree with Todd. Go on Twitter to promote. Go on Twitter when you see art, retweet and actually put a comment, something simple as awesome job or cool art or something simple like nice. Just do that. Hey Rumble's in here.
Hey Rumble, hey Space. I just wanted to say hi to one of my older things. I say older subs.
Yeah, we're up to 11 now. I'll draw what to do, but I'm probably leaving probably about 30 minutes or so, or maybe a little longer for the gym. I'm just getting my cameras worked, set up, and everything. But I hope you're not feeling too hungover, Rumble.
The other thing I think, I don't know a lot of what's going on. You know, I know some people are giving EVS a hard time. Well, a lot of these creators a hard time for them being behind on their book delivery. They've got to remember this is their first time out doing it like this, so they've miscalculated. They've apologized for that. I think they have, and you know, they're going to learn on their next campaign what to do, what not to do. You know, EVS is giving us more pages than he promised.
Oh, yeah. He said on live last night he's working over on plus 70 pages. So that's even more than what he said before. He said, I think he said 70. And that's like, okay, cool. Also, you know, what you said was true, but some people were just like mad about the whole Mike Miller holding back. He's already finished them. And someone made this comment, I forgot if it was live or not, but I think it was live, and said, if you have, you know, if they're at the printers, you have a PDF file, you could send all the fans that purchased the physical copy a PDF so they can at least read the digital, so they have something, so that way you could send them the physical later. I understand, and we all understand he wants to make a little bit more money with the Ben Shapiro thing, but some people don't see it that way. And also, the thing about being professional is about knowing your deadlines. Like E just said, yes, it's true, and that has caused a rift. And yes, a lot of people misconstrued the facts of, or didn't understand how long it was going to take. I mean, sometimes, you know, like being on Twitter and YouTube can be a little bit too much. Especially you want to attract more people, yes, but I think attracting more people when your book's already done and no one can buy anymore, that became a problem. And EVS did stop streaming a lot. He was streaming like 3 times a day and posting videos. And that was unhealthy for making the comic, and then he cut it back. Now he does maybe one, I don't even know if he does one stream a day, but he does post videos here and there. But he does prove that he is working on the comic. And with that, at least he is showing his work, and that's good. That is good. And I have no ill will towards any of these creators. And even though I haven't backed the ones books I'm defending a little bit here, I understand their business in a sense of that. And
I backed Cyberfrog. I backed Lone Star. I backed what's the name of it? Red Rooster. Red Rooster's not still on time as far as concerned. You know, I think he did his thing a little too early, personally, but
I mean, yeah, and Tim Lim got him and Chuck. They got there's Trump Space Force out, so that's good for them. I mean, it's a weird book to me. He said, yeah, if they were working for a company, they would have been fired. That's true. If you worked for someone else, and you couldn't get it done on time, you would be in serious trouble with the company if they cared that much. I mean, it depends. I mean,
but
it all depends.
A 24-page. Normally they were doing 20-page comic. You know, it's a lot easier than thing. Plus, you know, doing the whole social media thing.
Okay, Oscar said, I don't care if EVS is late for a couple months. He's not late by a year or so like BK Moore. Then, yeah, if he does that, yes, that's true. But BK Moore has no proof that he ever worked on his comic, and it's been late for over 2 years, I believe. Yeah, that dude hasn't even proved that he's been working on his book, that whatever Hawaiian cop thing, detective.
Hawaiian Dick, I think it was called.
Okay. Yeah, hold up. Yeah, could you just entertain him for a bit? I know this is your channel. I mean, I have more to say about this because I was there last night, and I'm going to do it in the most neutral fashion because that's me. I gotta get more coffee. I'll be right back.
ERT is I know what your problem is with Mike a little bit from having talked before. Mike was saying on air the other day, if you want to get, he will refund your money if you want him to. You just got to be able to have a PayPal account to get it back through.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
You just got to contact him directly and let him know.
Rumble's already gotten his refunds. I already saw all that drama that spilled out on Twitter, and I'm not, and let's not get involved in that.
No, I wasn't talking about his. I was talking about ERTs was saying the other day that he was wanting to get refunded by Mike, and I was just telling him how he could because what I heard from thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that comment was kind of, well, let's just say, okay, I don't care on either side of this. If your customer is upset and they may have said something, and it was me, I would have, when I refunded them, I would just say, okay, here you go, and I would not, say anything going down on them about it and say anything negative while I'm giving them the refund. I'm like, okay, here you go, thank you. I'm sorry. Well, you have a great life, great day, and then I'd be done with it. And that, I think, is the most Christian way. I would not bash someone while giving them their money back. But that's just me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say. And that's how I feel. I mean, I was raised Christian. I'm not Christian, but I do have those beliefs still, and I believe that everybody should treat everybody with kindness and respect the best you can. I mean, if you do too much, some people may think you're a doormat. But you know what? I just don't want to. Unless you come, after me in a certain way, then I may get heated. But beyond that, I'm not going to I'm gonna hold back just because out of respect, because I believe this. Everybody's a good human being, and they may see something in a different light. So I'm just gonna do it that way. Everybody has their own beliefs, and all the people that were on there last night, Rumble. I was there at some point. S was there, Crypto was there. John Wallace was there, and John had some good points. John was a little loud and talkative, but that's John Wallace for you. And I'm not knocking him. He's got his own personality. I don't know if you've ever met John Wallace, but he is.
I've heard of him, but I'm not sure whether I've seen anything by him yet.
I think he was very tame because, like, when I hang out with him, he's very explicit and loud, and he'll talk his mind a lot. But he was a lot more respectful last night talking to EVS, because first thing he did, he called him Mr. Van Schrijver. He talked to him like he was a man, and even though he had his differences, he tried to be as formal as he could. I mean, there was some things, some talking over, on a lot of ends, and there were some, like, afterwards when other people got involved, some people kind of, like, crossed the line, and okay, a lot of people don't know this, but here's something. See, I grew up in a poor town. I grew up, and my family owned a business, a small little business in the ghetto. And there's certain things and certain words that a lot of people don't know when you say them. They're not bad words, but I hate using the word triggering, but the thing is, there's certain words you just can't say to people, or you're going to upset them. And around the African American community, the last thing you want to call someone is boy or child, because I don't know, because that really upsets someone, and that's what happened at one point when John, who's 40, was called by another man, was called a child, and he just snapped. So that.
Yeah, that's because that was because back in a lot of the slavery, well, not the slavery, but just before the civil movement, I think it was.
Yeah.
Most of them got called boy and all that.
Oh,
which
and
is
worse words too. Yes. But yeah, so that's why it's a term that still bothers a lot of people in the African American community to this day. I know we should all be not take that as an account anymore, but it's something that's brought down from generation to generation, and we're all taught from our parents and how they believe. So we take that too. So I'm not holding anything against John for that. So I understand perfectly where he was coming at, but
yeah. JP4 says actual drama on Rick's Dream is not Canadian.
agreed, agreed. But my form of this is I'm not talking this. I'm just talking about in as most personal and good I can do about this. Well, the best I can say about this is there's a lot said, and I really do hope that some of the guys that I'm friends with who are working with, Ethan, and when they see the video, when they see everything, I hope, there's no problem with me because I'm associated with crypto with this. I hope that they can all come past this because, like I said, this is my show on crypto because he's got the big audience, the wrestling audience, and this has nothing to do with our drama. That was the whole purpose of this, was to get new people in and not deal with any of this nonsense. I'm glad it came out and it aired out. I know for John Dillard's upset about a lot of this stuff, and he has the right to because he's working with Ethan. I know when Todd sees this, he's going to be upset too, probably. He may be cool about it a little bit. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. I let Chester know about it when because he was telling me that you guys do the whole things every Friday night, so I'll just doing it at 10:30, I guess, or so. Hopefully you guys can get done on a fashionable thing.
Yeah.
Rick, you're invited if you want to. I'll just see who I can get. I want to get some. I want to switch it around because we need we need 8 artists total. I'll be an artist, and then we can. If Chester is going to be here, he can be a talker. If not, we can get Risey as long as he's not drinking. That's because like I said, it's neutral ground, and I love Brizzy, but if he's drinking, it's 50-50 because I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to kick Brizzy off my show.
Yeah.
It's just that's my rule is do not bring the stupid drama to my show. Do not talk about this. Do not talk about. I hate comic book pros. Like I don't care if it's Mags or Gail or Robbie or whoever. I don't want it on my show. These fans that we're trying to get from crypto that like wrestling, they don't know anything that's going on. 90% of them, I think 99% of them don't know what's going on and don't care. They just want to see us draw wrestlers, talk about wrestling, see the artwork, hear about the books. And I think I'm going to try to work on this where I need people to actually have their comic book pages ready so they can actually show the front cover of it or at least a page or two. So at least we can show off that in between of showing the actual drawing because that helps out a lot more, especially for the ones that are starting their campaign. But that's something we can talk about in the future because, like a lot of these guys like Hero and all these other guys, and you guys haven't launched or relaunched your books.
Yeah, they're a Hero with an IR is relaunching in April, I think.
Yeah. But if I can keep getting you guys on there and people can get to meet you guys every other week or so and get to know you guys, and we keep getting more people in, I just hope that at the very least, if each book or at least someone can actually get a backer from doing this, I think I've done a good job at that, and that's the whole purpose of this. And I hope Tales Beyond the Gate guys respect that, and they can respect the fact that even there is some dissension among our whole group as a whole, that I'm trying to do something that has nothing to do with it, and hopefully, I don't want to lose John or Todd or something from this. I mean, but that was one of the things that came to my mind is like some of these guys may not like this. I mean, I talked to Booster, and actually, me and Booster have, when I'm in the chat before we've actually talked before, he's always been like, "Oh, Melter, oh." But since we've been able to talk at least a couple of times, I think we got along really well. We got along really well.
Yeah, half of what Brewster does in a chat or in a panel, it's all play. Brewster's a decent guy. He just it's just it's a persona, but it's not a persona. He doesn't really hate anybody or whatever. It's just he's playing to the audience.
Yeah.
In it.
And so like even when I was in a chat one day, I told him that that if I ever stream live, that he could come on, and he was like, "You." I was like, "Okay, I guess we're not ever gonna do that." But then we talked, and he seemed a lot cooler, so maybe that can happen. I even talked to Nasser. Nasser's like, "I'm busy this week, but hey, man, if you want, because I was joking with him. He's like, I got a Rubik's Cube. You want to do a Rubik's Cube stream?" He's like, "Sure. How about this coming up weekend?" So, I just want to hang out with people and have fun. And Nasser was in the chat. He didn't join the conversation, but he was in there like me, just being drama free. Edwin was being drama free. There was a few people who were very drama free. And I want to thank Edwin Boyette for being as neutral as possible. I want to thank Cherry. I want to thank Nasser, even though they're probably not watching this. If they are, cool. Thank you guys for all the stuff. Thank you, because it really, really helps out, making peace. And that was the thing. A lot of us had issues with other people. I didn't have any issue really. The only issue I had was everyone else didn't like, was having this fighting, and I just felt like it was hurting the movement, and that upset me. But that's why I wanted to come on. I didn't talk as much. I wish I talked more, but everyone else was a lot more heated and more passionate, so I gave them more time since they've spent more time dealing with this than I have. So the only thing I regret was not speaking up more as a neutral party.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to see what's the chat saying here. I thought I saw my name there somewhere. Rick liked to show nether areas. Okay, I'm not sure what you probably mean something for my drawings.
I don't know. Maybe it's talking about those stretches around the legs and the groin area. I don't know.
Yes.
Know.
I've said it. Oh, and speaking of Mike and Edwin, for those that don't know, Mike and Edwin were on my show on Saturday when I was interviewing a comic book guy from a book called Tribulation Force. I don't have it in the description, but I should put the link to his Kickstarter. It's about Christian superheroes just before the tribulation.
Let me see if I can find it. What was the name of it again? I can find it real quick. It was a Kickstarter book, right? What was the name?
Why did you draw a spider? It's not meant to be a spider. I'll add some more lines. I'm just trying to create wrinkles or whatever in the fabric.
Maybe I can find it real quick. I know. I don't use the computer too much.
If you can find my Saturday one, it's right there. It's in the description on my Saturday one. So, and again, I'd like to so I know Edwin every so often you'll find him in my chat. So he might even watch some of these videos afterwards. I don't know if he's got time, Sometimes when these videos go longer, longer streams are less watched by people. Because who wants to spend 5 hours watching people talk and do nothing?
Yeah, I'll find it later. But yeah, I do agree with that. But it's just you're just gonna have to watch it or talk to us in like off air because there's just like so much more. I just don't want to create the drama there, because I was mad about certain things said on both sides, but I'm not going to go into it, because I talked about it earlier before we went on air, but and you understand why I'm repeating it here, because one, it's some of it was foul, and two, it just stirs the pot again. And I'm just being neutral, and I am pretty much neutral. I really truly want to believe those guys. They like to just do their own show and be funny, and just be like whatever and like in character for this stuff. But there's a time when you can be in character, and then there's a time where you shouldn't be in character. And actually, it's funny because I just watched you know Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, correct?
Yeah, I know of them. Well, I watched more King of the Hill than Beavis and Butthead, but
All right. The series is created by Mike Judge. Mike Judge has a new series. It's season 2 came out. It's called Tales Beyond the Bus or whatever. Tour bus, and it's about musicians. Like the first season was mostly like like the like almost country style stuff, like outlaw country music. The second season's all about funk music, like George Clinton and Rick James.
cool.
But and one of the episodes was about Morris Day and the Time, and that was a band Prince created for, like, if you ever seen the movie Purple Rain, that was his adversary. But anyways, there's this one line that happens that, like I just said a moment ago, was this. The guitar player from, I think it was the guitar player from Rick James, was being introduced to Morris Day from Morris Day and the Time. So he said, "Hey, how you doing?" He stuck his hand out. And Morris Day is in the mirror fixing his bow tie. He looks at the guy's hand and says, "Nah, man, I'm cool." Disrespected him, and it made him mad. And he said, "Excuse me, we're about to fight." And he's like, and then the lady goes like, no, he's just in character. And of course, after being rejected a couple times to shake his hand, he says, "Well, he better get out of character or I'm going to kick his butt." So, that's the thing about it. You can only be in character for so long and you can't use that excuse anymore, or else you're going to be like,
Or you become the character, and you're no longer.
yeah,
You
you're no
become
longer the person you were.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like the that old comedian Andy Kaufman. People had no idea if Andy Kaufman was being legit about his craziness sometimes, and some people. Um, okay, Ortiz is like, what's in character? In character is like, all right, I am going to play, let's say here, in a part in in a movie or whatever, as like Iron Man. I'm Tony Stark. So if I have this whole act where I act like I'm Tony Stark all the time, and I'm kind of a jerk, and I'm high and mighty on my high horse all the time,
I
and
think
know
he
it
was.
all.
I think he was joking with you. He put a laugh out loud after.
Okay, then never mind. Okay, because I wasn't sure. All right, I just saw the comment. All right, you got me there. But yeah. I mean, seriously, I think there's a time and place for everything, and the whole thing is blurring the stuff. Oh, model's here. Hey, model. But yeah, I think there's a time and place for everything, because once you go so far deep in that rabbit hole, it's hard to get back, and it can really hurt everybody in the long run, because one, you're not really sure who you are anymore, and two, people don't even know who you are anymore, or they think you're that person all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to actually say names or anything, but that was the whole discussion, because, and I'm not really. That's just my what I saw, and I saw a lot. Some people felt like they were playing a part instead of being real. And let's get down to this. And even if they were being real with some of the stuff, and I understand parts, but if anyone really wants to bury the hatchet here, or at least call a truce of like, I'm going to leave you alone, and then I said, and I was like, yeah, let's just not interact anymore. But if someone else does go and goes that way, shame on them. Shame on you for taking the truce that everyone agreed to wanting to happen. Even EVS wanted this, shame on you because all you're doing is spitting on everybody's face. I understand. I understand that you may not like somebody, but we, and GOP did something really nice. I want to say this real quick that he did. GOP wanted to barter between them, and he made a money deal, which was if the two parties that were really, really hating each other could get together and try to talk, or at least come in the chat and talk, he would donate $200 each to a charity. And both came in there. It did not go well, but then it ended, and then GOP said to both parties, and they both eventually told, because I know, and I saw what GOP posted on Twitter. So he is taking $400 out of his pocket and putting them to two different charities. So 200 goes here and 200 goes there. So thank you, GOP. It was very, very cool.
Ortiz says, I'm burying the hatchet with PS Melter and Cross Comics. Melter Model says, me too. I love you guys, says Ortiz.
Oh,
I may even like Model 316.
I love Model. Model, let me know the next time you guys are doing a stream so I can just I can build my my Gundam model kit with you guys whenever you're free.
They're probably doing a model thing tomorrow, so.
I don't know, that's for Model. Let me know whenever he's got space. But yeah, Rumble. That was cool, GOP. I just hope, it's not even been 24 hours, but I just hope, it's now day. I just hope everything can be okay now. I know I may be hoping for a lot, because there is a chance that nothing's going to change, but I really hope not.
Hopefully in 6 months from now, things don't get messed up again over this, because unfortunately, or less than 6 months, because there was another thing that was supposed to have been settled, and then like 6 months later, it seemed not to have been settled.
It's going to be what it is. It sucks. I mean, if you look back in the history of everything, there's been books canceled, projects canceled because, like, for example, not, like the cash grab thing, that was gone. I'm not going to get more involved with it because, Tim and Eric left. That was them. And, everything is the way it is, and I'm not going to get involved with it because I do not know Tim. I do not know Nurkish, and I don't know Cecil. I mean, I know if these guys not watching, but they don't.
We only know what we see on YouTube or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just 1 sec. I was going to say, Trusty, if you're out there, if you have if you can find Risey on Twitter and apologize to him there, let him know what was going on. That way, it's settled between you two. Let's not let this fester any longer than it has to. I'm not even sure whether you're still in the chat.
I think his Twitter is at The Real Risey.
Yeah.
So yeah, just look up The Real Risey and you should find him. But I'm not even sure if he'll remember this or not because no offense. He
didn't seem too far gone, so.
Well, maybe he did sober up or ran out of beer then. I mean, regardless, we're all still heated about, well, not we, but no, it's, I'll key it in there.
I figure getting drama dealt with right away, stuff like this, is a good idea. So it doesn't become anything.
Yeah, everybody's still heated up. I'm hoping it blows over. I really do, and I'm an optimistic person. I want everyone to be happy and succeed. I just don't want us to divide any more than we've already divided. And I want everybody to come back because when the year started and it went fresh last year and it came through the summer, everything was going great, it looked like. I was just finding out what was going on this past year or so. Just watching videos, not commenting, not meeting you guys. I was just knowing from the big guys. And then it wasn't until like after the summer, I've met you, I've met John, I've met Rumble. I finally, sat down and talked to Booster. I got my own little thing going on with crypto, and maybe it's because I haven't been here since the beginning. Who knows? Maybe if I was here from the beginning, I would have been on a side. I'm glad I'm not. I'm glad I'm trying to make friends with both sides. I think Comic Book Girl Ava is awesome. I like watching her videos by herself. I like her talking about comics and wanting just to read comics. That's awesome. Good for her. And I have no ill will towards her, or I'm not Tyler. They're all right with me. Some of those guys. I really haven't talked too much to the other ones. So beyond that, I have nothing bad about either side on here.
I've been here, I think, from close to the beginning. It was probably Zach that I heard first, although I didn't really get too much into his channel. But I know I got into Ethan's channel before he started doing Cyberfrog, so he was still working for DC at the time.
That must have been over a year ago, because didn't he leave like the beginning of the year or the end of
No,
2017?
He left in the middle of 2018.
Oh, he did he?
Because
I remember
he didn't launch Cyberfrog till at least May or June.
Oh, I didn't know that, because I was like going back and forth. All right, but anyways,
okay, we got Risey in here. He is in the chat. He's still listening.
Okay.
Hey, Risey. He's just.
All right, later, E.
He's taken off. Well, if you don't feel you have to apologize, that's all right. Well, hopefully it's all right. No, nobody was talking about bending the knee, Risey. Trusty did not mean that towards you, that comment. And it was also a misspelling he was saying earlier. If you listened earlier in the chat, in the stream, just after you left. I'm not sure whether Trusty'd be able to come on if he wanted, or if we could do some sort of whatever makeup thing or whatever.
Oh, Trusty's still here. He's talking. He said he's sorry. He misunderstood.
Yeah.
He just wants to bear the hatchet. So okay, that's good.
Well, I was just thinking voice to voice, I'd say face to face, but he's in Australia, or Trusty's in thing,
I mean, we could just drop the link into the chat right now. There's not that many people here.
I want to make sure it's all right with both of them before.
Yeah, I don't think there's like any weird people where you could just drop the the link in the chat. It wouldn't be that bad.
Okay, Risey's saying my bad, then Trusty. So hopefully there's makeup here.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's good. That's good. I'm glad we've fixed this little situation, because we all need to come together. We do need to come together. We need to, we don't need to be threatening or just making upsetting people over nothing, because they win. We don't win. They win. We don't win. And then guess what happens? They're going to continue to make bad books in Marvel and DC, and
there'll be no more comics.
There will be no more comics, except for the very few that are beyond Indiegogo, that are or wherever, trying to find an audience to sell their books. And if that doesn't work, guess what? The only place you're going to be able to put your comic book is on a website, and become a web comic, and then eventually sell your comic by putting it free, just about. and you're gonna, or unless you can be so good of an artist that if the company accepts you, they'll pay you like that's how they do it with webtoons, but that's a binding contract that you must produce weekly, or you could just work something out with Tapas, and that's another that's you have to follow. You'd have to follow Clownfish TV about that because they have pros and cons of both of them. But mostly what they say is create your own website like you did, Rick, and just post your webcomic on there. You need your own backup file. So that's what's probably going to end up happening. As long as there's an internet and it's not policed wrongly, that's the only way to do it. And you're going to have to advertise on Twitter and Facebook and wherever and YouTube to do it, because that's what's going to end up happening if this movement dies and the comic industry dies. That's owing, and I mean as a way of making and selling your books. That's the only thing about it that's going to happen, and it's unfortunate. But if we cannot come together and just stop this nonsense, there won't be any comic books the right way. We're just going to have to put it on websites, and then eventually, after getting the right audiences, already having the books printed out to start selling. Yeah, it may hurt you a little bit, but that's what's going to end up freaking happening, and it sucks. It really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another reason. Although before this whole Indiegogo, well, I can't say before it started, but before this whole movement got started, sort of why I got my website, to have us now it's more after I get my Indiegogo going and all that. People, they don't have to I don't have to do the exorbitant amount stuff on thing, I get people buying my comic, and then I can just publish, or getting subscriptions or whatever. Depending on what my sales are, right directly from my website, go right through them, maybe eventually through Diamond or whatever. People can purchase directly from me eventually, is what I've always been thinking, Yeah, I'd like to be in the comic book stores. Maybe the comic book stores purchase directly from me and I ship it to them. I don't know how it would work exactly, but
Oh yeah, I mean, I hope there's still comic book stores to put stuff in, and if not, I mean, there will be, but they're not going to be that many, and that's what sucks because like more and more comic books are dying out, and I had this, I think I said this to Andrew Huerta on Twitter, and I was like, are we going to double that this year? And he's like, yeah, but the pros and act like comic book sales are doing even better because that's just how it goes,
yeah.
You got nowhere to sell them, but you're doing so well, which is a lie. But I don't know, man. Maybe you should also look into if you can put your Christian book into Christian bookstores as well.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing that too.
I think if not, that would help you a lot. If you should actually look up everyone that's a Christian book, that does Christian comic books. You should all team up together and go to these Lifeway or whatever Christian stores and offer to put your comic books in there, because if they are completely Christian, that's your audience anyways. And these families go in there that are Christian to buy stuff. They bring your children in there. They see a little spinner rack full of Christian comics. Guess what? They're gonna buy it.
Well, heck, as soon as I have extra copies printed, when I go for my print, I'm going to be going around to all the comic book shops around here, probably all the way up to Toronto and all the way down to Niagara Falls. It's going to cost me a hell of a lot of money in transportation.
Oh.
But, and I'm also going to go to all the comic book shops I can too and say, hey, I want to sell these on commission to you guys. This is how much I want. I won't have the actual price on it. I say you can charge what you want at first. This is how it's going, So, unfortunately, there might not be a going rate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I understand.
I'll sell it online too, and eventually, hopefully, people will start buying. with, you know, it suddenly, you know, the first issue goes good, you know, if you sell out here, contact me, you know, I'll come get my money and tell me whether you want me to bring more copies if I have them available. You know,
exactly. That's good. That's a good thing to do, man. You know, that's great. Yeah,
and the second time around, it's not commission because now they know they can sell. The first time around, it's commission, or not commission, not commission, consignment. Sorry. You know, they can put their, you know, they don't they don't pay me any money till they've sold them, you know, basically the first time around. And then if they think they can sell them from then on, you know, and then maybe I start just shipping, put them all in a mailer and ship them instead of going wherever.
I gotta see the video later, but I was talking about, you know, Jason Brubaker saying, you know, go to your room, shut up, go to your room, and make your comics. He just posted another video I got to watch later. It said Patreon and the number of the beast. He's attacking Patreon now. Oh God, that's awesome. And I don't blame him too, because Patreon really messed up. It really hurt a lot of people, and a lot of people don't want to use Patreon anymore. And didn't you say that you and John are leaving Patreon?
Well, John is. I've been thinking about getting a Patreon still.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at 200, almost 250 subscribers. I'm 243 last time I knew. Let's see.
That's good, man. Hopefully, the alternative will come out soon. That way, you can alert people, and you can switch over to that. You know, because that's what like the three of those people did. They left. So yeah.
Let's see.
Because I'm not sure when they're gonna, you know, bring up their alternative to Patreon, because that's the only thing I worry about. Because see, you're a Christian, and even though you don't say anything bad, I just do not know how, you know, how that'll affect you one day when they start to hammer out more. Because you know you're very safe about what you say, but unfortunately, Rick, we are both on YouTube, and it's your channel. But if something is said wrong, if someone uses that one video, if it's something I've said or Risey said or anyone else has said, and they're trying to pin that against you, you could lose your Patreon because of all that BS nonsense. And I hate that, because that's just one person that's just, you know, sour against you, man.
Let's see. JP saying, Rick, just do a PayPal link. Yeah, I was thinking of that. I do have PayPal. Rick Piper at crosscomics.ca. If you go to PayPal.
PayPal takes me out sometimes.
PC through stream. I don't know what consoles. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. If I stop answering, I'm at work, so. Rumble says, I'll check the Microsoft Game Store. Okay, maybe they're talking about something else. But yeah, there's lots of alternatives, and, you know, they just shot themselves in the foot, you know, these people at Patreon, you know. Yeah. You know, they're getting all this money, and suddenly, because they did this thing to one person who did something wrong on a totally different platform than theirs, you know, or it wasn't even wrong, I don't think, or whatever, because they didn't get penalized by YouTube because something they said there. Oh, we're talking about games, Cross. Okay, cool. Games are cool. I like games.
Yeah, JP does his two little, you know, cities and Bendy and the Ink Machine game lately. He's been doing a lot of that. Besides his tank, I actually like watching him play the tank game. Hey, JP, I know you probably don't have PS4, but there's this one guy, he streams, since you like watching Warfare stuff, There's this it's called Gundam Battle Ops 2. This one guy, he does a really good, fun stream of just, sniping people and warfare. It's a very fun game to watch. I would be playing it if, one, my PS4 wasn't broken, and two, I had created a second account because you can't use an American account to download it. It's free on PS4. You just have to, say that you live in like Hong Kong or something, because it's in English, but it's not available in North America or Europe, which is stupid. But it's a fun game from what I've seen. And it's free. It's one of those like free to play like app kind of things. You can put money to unlock crates to get better stuff, but you don't have to. You can play over time, just shooting other giant robots. But yeah, JP, I'll just let you know about that. You should look that one up. I'll type it in there, the name of it.
JP4 says he has all the consoles. And cool.
Oh, dude, then you should definitely get it, man, and start streaming that, so that way I can just watch you play. Because I would watch you play that. I don't know how to stream consoles on YouTube. I tried it one time a long time ago and it didn't work.
Apparently, you have to use some sort of splitters.
Oh.
Like a HDMI splitter or whatever. I was looking into it myself a couple days ago because I was thinking about that's another thing I could do. Stream my gameplay, some gameplay.
That's cool.
Just adding one more thing that Cross Comics does.
Well, Rumble's right. There needs to be more good Gundam games in the States. Yeah. I wasted the last game I bought was that horrible new Gundam Breaker. Okay, so this is like the fourth installment. You think, okay, I played 3. Well, I had to buy 3 because PS4s are there's no lock on there from the regions. So like I said before, they release games over there that won't be coming to America, but it will be in English, but it's like Asian. You can buy it. So I bought it off the website, got it. It was in English. I was playing Gundam Breaker 3. Oh, that game was fun. And then they said, finally, we're going to release a new Gundam Breaker game in America called New Gundam Breaker. I'm like, well, 3 was good. This 4th one should be even better. It was awful. It was bad. It was garbage. I mean, within a week, I could have, not, instead of pre-ordering it, it dropped down to like $20. That's how bad it was.
Okay, let's see. JP4 saying consoles are used by the clones. No, just connect via Streamlabs. Can you download Streamlabs on like a PS3? I don't have, or an Xbox 360. Can you download it on PS4 or an Xbox One? Super NES emulator, yeah. I've gotten those before. Do a Super NES.
Yeah. Here's something cool that if you have an old, just regular Nintendo, there's certain weird games that came out, and I learned this from your friend. Here's a secret. He would go and he would always buy tons and tons and tons, and he would have extra copies of certain games. And I never understood because he would do this. He'd buy them, take them home, and he would take a screwdriver and he would open them up and look at them, and he'd put it back. And then finally it happened the one day. He opened it up and he was so excited, and I was like, what? He's like, it has it in here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the older ones, the original older ones, they didn't have the one full chip. They had the original Japanese game plugged into this little converter that plugged into the big one that translated it or whatever to fit on. There was no translator to fit on the Nintendo, because what you don't understand is the original Nintendo was called the Famicom. Famicom and the Nintendo are shaped differently, and the drives are different sizes. So they had to have a something to plug into that to plug into the Nintendo. With that, you can buy old Famicom games and do the plug thing with it and put it inside the Nintendo, and it could either be in English or Japanese, but you're able to play games that were never released in America. And we ended up buying a few. He bought like the original 3 Super Mario Brothers, and they were all in Japanese, I believe, which I thought was weird. Why would you buy something that you can already get instead of buying something that wasn't able? And I ended up buying Zeta Gundam, which was more. It was like Contra. If you ever played Contra, it was like Contra.
Yeah.
And it was hard, but if you got to a certain level, then it changed into a different kind of game, kind of like, I don't know, kind of like The Legend of Dragoon or something, where it was like in first person and you're flying straight and you're trying to shoot down the enemies. So it gave you 2 different styles of gameplay, and that was pretty cool. It was hard, but it's pretty cool. And it was in English, too. That one was in English. And I was like, well, son of a gun, why didn't this get put in America? I mean, yeah, they didn't release the series Gundam but until like a decade later. But I'm like, that's kind of weird. But it was pretty cool.
Okay, JP saying, I will check it out how it works tonight or tomorrow. I didn't download anything to the consoles. I take it he means for the Streamlabs. So
That's cool. That's cool, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, those old games were really fun because they were really hard. And actually, there's now since I'm talking about video games, there's this cool new anime that's on Netflix right now. It's called High School Girl or High Score. High Score. My High Score ... girl, or My High Score ... gal. And it's it takes place in like I guess it's like the late 80s, early 90s in Japan. Street Fighter 2 is out. People are playing Street Fighter 2, and he likes to play it at the arcades because it's back then in Japan. Arcades were kind of starting to get notification, and he's like a big and it actually shows Street Fighter 2, so like a bunch of these Capcom games and stuff are in there, so it's the legit stuff. So you see them in cartoon, but you can see the screen of them playing the actual game. And it's a story about that, and this boy's eventually, I guess he starts to find a girl he likes, but it's over the time. So as all 12 episodes go, years do pass over time. So he goes from being a little kid to a junior high schooler, and he's meeting other people and stuff, and it's very nice because of how they play the time period, how they treat it very respectfully, and how they put in, because once the story, I mean, like everything ends, like at the end they do a little like history check for video games and pop culture, because at some point when they did this, like they said Street Fighter, I don't know, Turbo came out in America, Bill Clinton became president, Street Fighter whatever it was, because there's like 50 Street Fighter 2 games that came out, they were like upgraded. Maybe I'm over exaggerating. It was like maybe like 20, but still. And it listed all these cool games that came out, and they gave like a little bit of game knowledge and facts. It's very fun, and it's I would say it's close to almost all ages to watch this, because it's not one of those weird Japanese cartoons you watch that's pervy or anything. So it's really good. I would say, oh yeah, it's on Netflix. I'll just type in the name. I think it's called My High Score Girl or Gal. I'm not sure. I watched most of them yesterday before the whole big drama stuff hit, but it was pretty fun and relaxing to watch. I just have one issue about it, and it looks like a lot of anime and other cartoons are going this direction because it's cheaper, is they use a little bit of in-game like CGI roundness, like how they move. You know what I'm talking about, right? When they don't move like they've been drawn, they move like they're computer generated.
yeah.
It was done okay. It's kind of weird to see it used so often, but since it was used often enough, it started to grow on you because that's just the style. Because I think the animation is made by one of the video game companies anyway, so it made sense. But it's very cute. It's not. It's very respectful, and that's about all I can say about it. I'm not going to try to spoil anything, but it's very fun just to see someone like get all into like the old arcade games and stuff, and it's something that's a relic of the past because no one, I mean, people do go to arcades here and there when there is some, but there's just not that many anymore. It's like comic book stores.
Yeah, I hate that there's no arcades anymore.
Mm.
At least nowhere around here, anyways. I think there's probably some places. But then again, they had so many cool games in the arcades that I never seen anywhere else. Some of them I seen in magazines, and I never even seen the games around here. It's like, come on, where do I find that game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying for everybody, but because like I said, there's not many arcades anywhere anymore. Where I live in a town that actually you would say, oh, you're full of arcades. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of arcades where I am because we're on a vacation, spot. So we by the beach. There are arcades there. There's this big arcade comic book store in a mall up north. Um, yeah, there are a few. I
Oh, we got Drawn Talk. Just watched parts of the stream last night with EVS. I knew all that crap was going to happen at the beginning of CG. That's why I stayed away from CG. Well, at least it stayed away from labeling. Love the creators of Oscar. Mall of the North. Almost doxed yourself there. Laugh out loud.
there's a possible. Yeah, because yeah, I'm not gonna say what city I'm from, but people know and can tell I'm from the South, and and I've already stated the state I live in, so I'm not ashamed to say that that. But it's
Yeah, well, saying the city, unless it's a blink you miss it city.
I mean, it's not like, oh, I'm from like a city of 50 people. Yeah, or a town of 50 people. Yeah, that's pretty small. But no, like, yeah, I just want to say this is Draw and Talk. Yeah, there was a lot of crap going on, and like you said, you knew a lot of that stuff was going to happen at the beginning, and yeah, I understand. I do agree. But yeah, it was drama that was building up because of a bunch of other stuff, and that's why I went in there as to be a neutral party when I finally jumped in, even though you guys had left at that point. I went there to hopefully, if anyone said something wrong, that I could just like, whoa, that's not cool. And I did that a little bit. I wish I had more time to talk, but because I wanted us all to just get over this stuff too. I don't know. I hope so, man.
Yeah, we just need to all get along.
Okay, I do agree, Draw. I do agree, Tyler. Do your own thing. Don't rely on people like EVS or other creators to help you. Yes, yes. That's why I'm doing what I said, and I wanted to do maybe with you later on with the whole story thing or something. It's just going to take me a little time because like I had a good successful show over with Crypto when we did when he did on his wrestling stream because he has a lot of viewers. He has 11K, and we did pretty good for our first show. Hopefully, since we're going to be doing Hulk Hogan on the
How
next
many?
one.
Oh, I never asked. How many viewers? How many viewers did you get?
By the time the stream ended, I think we had 200 people had watched the whole stream for the 2 or so hours. So we got at least 100 views. I mean, we had like 25, I think, votes at the end. I mean, because people would come on and off. It was good for a first showing. There was,
Yeah.
and that was only done with only a few days of advertising. Now we have a whole week in one successful show. I just hope that after what happened last night, all the other people don't have anything, understand that it's still neutral ground. It has nothing to do with what, anything, and that's the whole point. And it's my show. This is not Crypto's show. It's on his channel because he can help us and help the creators. This is not about him. This is me. This is my show, and I work things out with him because he loves wrestling too. And this is, like I said, wrestling. And if people can't get beyond that and can't see beyond it, that's fine. You are allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to have a choice. And if it's that Rush song, Free Will. Everyone has a choice. If you choose not to make a choice, that that's still free will. Yes, you have free will. You can do this. I'm not going to pressure you into, please come back, man. Come on. Or what can I do? No, it's up to you. And I hope you hold nothing against me. And you would want to come back and do this again because, I talk to other people, and some people have different opinions about everything, but that's not about it here. And if I can do the other draw quarter kind of like thing about coming up with a one-page story, and we can all just try to draw a quick, like 3 to 5 panels within an allotted time, that would be pretty cool. I know it wouldn't be great artwork, but it would be great just to see if you can actually show action sequences real quick, really rough draft it. Maybe later on actually finish the product, and we can come back the next week and you can show your finished product, and then we can review it then. I don't know. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. I would love to still work with you, Draw, and talk about that. And everything that I want to do is drama-free, neutral territory, and not getting into stupid conversations because I don't want to talk about why I hate this person at Marvel or DC, or why I don't like this person within Comicsgate, or these people or whatever. I don't want that here. I don't want that talking about it. And I hate that we're kind of going back and forth a little bit on Rick's channel, but it's something that just happened. I guess we kind of have to air out a little bit, but let's be as neutral as we can about it.
Yeah, for sure. We're not, and me and you I think we're being level-headed in this. So as long as people can be on, we can talk about the controversial stuff on here. Just everybody be level-headed.
Yes, let's just try to be friends here. Let's all try to help each other sell each other's books. Let's all talk to each other and be friends, and let's try to maybe one day make books with each other. Let's all just try to get a fan base. Let's all try to work to do something that's different.
Hey, Abe. Abe just came into the chat.
Oh, that's cool. Drawn Talk's going to be live tonight with Narwhal about Earthbound. It's the first stream in like 2 or 3 weeks. I understand, man. It's sometimes hard to do your own stuff. I got to do a video later after I go to the gym. I'm going to be leaving in a little bit. And then when I get back and I'm all done with all this stuff, I can advertise and I'll let you know. I know you don't like wrestling, but we'll be drawing Hulk Hogan. And if you know Hulk Hogan and want to be a part of that Friday, just to draw Hulk Hogan, even though you don't know anything about wrestling, that's fine. We had Andrew from Hero with an E, Hero Book 1, and he didn't know anything about wrestling, but he said to me he had fun and he wants to come back because he just enjoyed hearing people talk about wrestling and stories and just sit there and draw and meet people. And he had a pleasant time, and it was very pleasant. And I've heard from so many people that have told me that my version of Drawn Quarter was so much laid back and civil. There was no people talking over each other. Everybody took turns. Everybody had fun. And that's the thing I want to do. I want everybody to just, it's like a chill stream in a way. And that's what I want all the time.
Yeah, I'd like that on here too. Maybe not a competition like that, but I'd like it where, people can come on here at noon and draw, and we can talk about this, that, and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it was good for most of the part, except for like 2 things that happened towards the end, but luckily it wasn't Rise that did it. So it was like Slick Jimmy. He was making jokes at John Dillard, calling him Dill Hole and dill pickle and stuff, and it got a little too dirty a little bit. And then Brad was in the chat, and he took a little pot shots at Todd, and we all know a lot of people lately have been taking a lot of pot shots at Todd. And Todd had enough, and he finally flipped. And I've never seen Todd flip. I don't know if have you ever seen Todd get super angry and just drop F-bombs at people across?
Maybe once, or maybe something close to an F-bomb, but maybe not quite an F-bomb.
No, he goes down. He says, "I'm tired of being everybody's flipping pin cushions. I'm done with this flipping stuff." And he didn't say flipping or stuff, but he got really mad at the end. But I think it was, people have been giving him a lot of stuff lately, and Todd, he doesn't like to talk junk about people.
Yeah, drawing. Well, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I do it just out of camaraderie. It's sort of a guy thing that the trash talk.
Oh, it is, and I don't mind doing that myself. But some people
As
they
long
don't
as
do that.
people know it's in good fun, I don't really mean anything by it. It's just a little friendly teasing.
Yeah, I think Todd's just done with it. I think Todd doesn't seem like he doesn't like to talk too much trash. So I guess he doesn't want knowing people doing to him too. Even though he knows he's just he's everybody's different. So I respect that too. So that's why I don't get on Todd too much. I love Todd. Todd's an amazing artist. I'm happy that he's going to be a part of Graveyard Shift, and I hope.
Oh yeah,
after that was one of my things was I hope Todd, nothing reflects Todd what happens between, what we do with crypto, and that's one of the things is that would hurt me so much if that did, because Todd's a great guy. He's an amazing artist. He's one of the best indie guys right here that is not a big name, and that's why he won Graveyard Shift, because he proved that. He proved that yes, he has his own speed and whatnot, but Ignition looks so great when he draws. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, as you said to John Talk is cool. He wishes he didn't have to work when I did these streams. That he'd love to come on.
I wish I could call back right now. I mean, I've applied, but I haven't heard anything. It's just a bad time of the year to get a job. But I'm just I'll get one when I get one. But
yeah, unfortunately, most people.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just going to say to your thing about looking for a job. Unfortunately, this time, most people have just let go of their Christmas help. So trying to get a job at this time of year is hard. It's like trying to get a job now and in September.
Yeah. Well, they're opening up, let's call it a sports stores around here. So I'm hoping, even though I'm not a big sports guy, I will do something like that and work there, hopefully, because it's new and they're hiring over 300 employees. So I'm hoping like I could be one of the 300 employees that's at least, since I work for retail and there's in the sports store, there's a retail part and there's other parts into it. Like it's a huge place. So it's going to have like a restaurant or a bar or something, without getting into great deal what kind of store it is, because it's pretty cool. And I don't mind working retail or something again and selling, people like footballs and golf clubs or whatever in that retail or whatever, baseball bats. I don't mind, or shirts. Yeah, I can do that. It's just I just feel bad that, the store I was working with closed down. I mean, a lot of actually, I was just in the whole complex, and they've closed like 4 more stores down just starting the year, and some of them were restaurants. And I think I told you about this because we were talking about Dave and Buster's the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I remember, yeah. So yeah, it's just
Let's see. Todd, Adrian says Todd seems like a great guy. He is. And Abe says, "Me too. I'd rather work from home."
If I could work from home, that would be awesome. I wish I could get paid to just do live streams, but that's just insane.
Well, if you get your channel up high enough, you can.
Oh, well, just get my channel.
Get if you get good enough for the artwork or story stuff, maybe after I get going, you can come work for Cross Comics, do comic work.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I would love that. I don't care who I work with. I ain't one of these SJWs saying I will never work with a Christian or I will never work with someone who aims right or whatever. I'm like, no, man, I'll work with whoever I want to as long as they're cool with me. And that's all that matters.
Another side thing for this whole YouTube thing, too, for me, is getting to know other creators. That way, when my comics take off, I can, as long as my Indiegogo, which I think I might be I think I'm going to try and do it in either May or June, takes off. Hopefully I can, get a whole bunch of people online and we can just start putting out the comics and just doing it from there. Hopefully I won't only have to do 2 or 3 Indiegogos max to get everything going real good. Because Indiegogo is nice. But it's, like,
Finishing up with this.
are you talking to me, Meltzer?
Hey, sorry, I'm back. I just had to get more coffee. Yeah. I need the coffee before I go to the gym. I need to finish the whole pot. Yeah, because I woke up late. Because we stayed, like you saw, we stayed up real late, and I kept on saying to myself, "I'll leave in 5 minutes," and 5 minutes became 2 more hours or something. I mean, it was cool because we were gonna leave, and Sashi came in, and I was like, "Oh, I get to meet Sashi." So I was like, "Cool."
Yeah, it's just too easy sometimes to stay.
Yeah, I like meeting new people, and then I finally got to hang around with Uncanny Kodiak because, he's a pretty good artist. He did pretty decent job when he drew the fan edition. He did his best, and he hangs around like me with Andrew and Avery from Hero. So it's cool.
I think this Voltron is going to take me a bit to do. I think this Voltron's being done over a few different streams.
Oh man, there's a lot of detail when you're making giant robots. It's insane. I mean, I don't know if you've looked at a lot of different stuff from Gundam, but if you have, let me see if I can pop something up real quick and I'll screen share so you can see some of the crazy stuff of Gundam. And it even goes back to like the original 1979 Gundam stuff. So let me pop up some images here. We can like look at, let me see, Gundam art.
I've just basically done the torso and the waist area and half of one arm, and it's like crazy work. This might be done as, doing another character plus a bit of Voltron.
All right, you can if you can white box me, I can show you some of the complex stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so here's like some of the original. Like this is like the original Gundam. It may be small, but you got that. You've got this guy right here. And you can see all the detail that's in just these little nooks and dots and everything around here. That's a lot of work, and even then when you're putting them all on one page, even though it's small, but yeah, there's a lot of detail in Gundam. I love it for the detail. I hate it because I am not at that level, but when you see stuff like this, it is amazing stuff. It's a lot of hard work.
Oh yeah.
And then I like this one because this comes from Turner Gundam, which a lot of the designs was made by the guy who created he created the look for Alien from the original Sigourney Weaver movie Alien. He worked on this thing called Turner Gundam, and he came up with a lot of concept art, which was used for Return of Gundam. Called Sid Made, I think that was his name. But yeah, there's just that's what I like about high detail. You can get lost in the details. Some of the like this is like the most basic original Gundam, but there is a lot of detail in here, even for something as old as this. And it's really cool. Then like you got an even upgraded where someone put even more detail into this and some of the stuff's fan art, but it's close to the real thing because some of the stuff does get that detailed in actual the anime and the comics. But it's a lot of work here, man. And whoa, I gotta jump back. That was like
Not a good image. Not a good image.
Yeah, I saw it just then. I hope no one else saw it. I try to get there as quickly as possible. Yeah, I'm gonna just jump away from this because I hate it when you're trying to show something nice and then you accidentally get
something nice in a different way.
You could say that. That was. I'm sorry. I did not think that would pop up when I just type in Gundam artwork. But that's my fault for having my filter turned off without thinking about that. But you think, oh, I'll type in this and that, and it won't pop up unless I type in the naughty word. But oh well. I mean, at least hopefully just that 1 second doesn't get you in trouble. I don't think it will. Sorry, dude.
No problem. I wasn't looking, but I didn't see. So
I caught it real quick once I shrunk down. I was scrolling. I was like, whoa, not yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm done sharing because I don't want nothing else to pop up. You can focus it back to you of your drawing. I think more people would rather watch you draw than look at my ugly avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm slowly getting the cat done. Although I don't have that. That needs to go back more.
No, man, it looks good, man. It's really, I think you got a knack for drawing robots. I mean, you can get the detail done right and stuff. I think robots is something that looks like it's on, because of straight lines and everything. I mean, straight for some people, drawing straight lines is hard because sometimes for me, drawing straight lines is kind of hard, and I have to use a ruler all the time, and I have to make sure it's on point. But for you, man, you got that really nice hand work where you just can do it.
These aren't as straight as what they seem, but
I mean, once you lay the ink down, it's going to look a lot better. I mean, it's pretty straight for just a rough. All right, Ape Sapien said Google is the devil. Ha ha ha. It could be. Yeah, it could be.
No, Google isn't the devil, just a tool of the devil.
So Rick, you going to do a late stream later tonight, or are you going to be hopping on someone else's stream later tonight?
Probably just hop on Man. I'm thinking maybe I'll hop on Manny's at 10 Eastern, as long as he goes live. Because, like I said, Monday to Friday now, it's just a stream at noon, a live stream at noon. Yeah, I'll be putting up, a bunch of smaller stuff during the day. I didn't put up anything this morning. Did I put that up just before? No, I don't think I did. Oh, I've got one being done right now that I'm going to be putting up. Speed drawing from when my 66-day challenge. I'm grabbing a lot of the stuff I did during that time for my digital.
Cool.
Slowly and speeding a little bit about the character, putting some music to it, and just saying, remember to like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'm working on a slideshow.
I'm sorry, you roboted for a second. So what did you say, man? What was like the last sentence?
Well, I'm also working on a slideshow type one, and here I'll show you guys for a sec. Show you one of the
Cool.
slides of merged, what I call them merged characters.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think I'll be on any stream tonight, man, because it's a very busy, popular night tonight, and I'm going to be busy. Because I said about my wrestling thing, I want to see what Hulk Hogan's going to pay tribute to Mean Gene for after I post my video. I mean, or before, and also I got to flip back and forth because the NCAA football championship is on, and I got to see Alabama and Clemson play. I
Yeah.
want. All right, so all right. I'm going to shut up so you can talk and we can screen your picture.
Yeah. It's just I got a whole bunch of slides like this showing, a DC comic, Marvel comic character, and then I've combined them into my own unique character. In this case, it's Superman, Spider-Man, and they equal Super Spider-Man, Super Spider.
Cool.
And I've got like a whole bunch. I've got a whole bunch done. There's a whole bunch more I have to do, and I'm just gonna.
Could have been Superman Spider.
Yeah, I went through a few different things. And actually, in my comic book universe of Cross Comics, where I have all my superheroes, my Christian superheroes, the comic books that they're one of the set of comic books that they're gonna read is called Merge Comics, and all these characters are gonna be in there. Jeez. I'm creating a comic book universe within a comic book universe.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't get to do what I was going to do because I just instead I bump it. I don't want to because I was going to create a second Twitter account because you know how many Jeremys from Geeks and Gamers run around. There's like a good bit. I was going to call myself Clemson Jeremy just to mess with Jeremy. He's an Alabama fan, so and I've been trying to tag him to mess with him to see if he would acknowledge it and go on with the deal. And I was trying to get. He was like, "Hey, if Clemson wins, you should wear a Clemson hat every day until the season starts again. And if you win, I would buy an Alabama hat." But he's like, he didn't respond. I thought it'd been funny. That would have been a great bet because it would have been so hilarious if Clemson won, and then you have to see Geeks and Gamers Jeremy. Hey everybody, this is Jeremy with another video, and he's wearing the Clemson hat. That would have been so funny. I mean, maybe next time. But that would have been hilarious. I mean, if he won, if they won, I would have definitely bought an Alabama hat. I probably have one around here, anyways. But still, I thought that would have been funny. It's always good to make little fun bets. Nothing like stupid, but that would have been a fun bet.
Well, fun stupid bets. That's a fun stupid bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
it's not harmful, but
Yeah, it would have been hilarious because think about it. If you lost and you'd have to be do that for was it 6 months? You're just wearing that same hat for 6 months. And I would expect him if he did if it was 6 months later and it was finally over, he'd do a video of him burning the hat. That would have been hilarious too. Because think about how much views you could get. All right, Clemson won, so he would take his camera, record himself going to a sports store and buying a Clemson hat. Put the hat on, and it's like, I'm a man of my words, dude. That we got so much video views for him and stuff, and then he has to do it, and then finally burn the hat after the season starts. That would get you a lot of views. That would be so hilarious, I think. Or maybe give the hat to someone else who's like, now you can own the hat that was worn by me for 6 months and sweaty.
That actually gives me a not bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, it would work, but maybe next time they fight again, if both teams are still up to as good as they are. But yeah, I gotta flip back and forth. And I haven't watched wrestling in a while, but I'm just gonna watch it just to see Hogan back. They finally let off and are letting Hogan back finally for real on a Monday Night Raw. To pay tribute to Mean Gene, and and that all coincides because that's great because we all need to forgive and forget eventually, and that's a good thing that shows there. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier. We all need to forgive each other, or at least just get over it and not keep going on because it's not going to help anybody. Let's just all be friends and everybody love everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been going about, what, 2.5 hours here now?
Yeah, I'm about to go head to the gym in bed. Once this stream's over, I guess, and so you're about to end it soon. I think we've tackled everything.
Yeah, I have to redo that head stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're 2:28. We've been going about 2.5. Yeah, we've been going about 2.5 hours. For those,
I'm not going to share this video this time just because we talked about stuff on Twitter, and I don't want, if anyone's watching what I post on Twitter, I'm just not going to share this video this time because we did talk about last night, and I really don't want to start anything. I'll just leave it here. You can, because if Sketch is looking and watching my stuff, and I don't want anyone to think I'm trying to, or with because of Risey, we're trying to get anybody on either side. So just for that, I can't share it this time.
yeah. Okay. Anyways, we've got a few last comments. Lorenzo's here. He says it's been a fun stream. John Dillard says you should tell Rick to stop swiping my characters. Then we could get along.
I love John. John, I love you, buddy.
Raven,
You're always invited back to my stream, no matter what. To draw wrestlers if you want to. I love you, man.
Yes. Raven says hello, and Lorenzo says hail, Raven. And of course, you say laugh out loud. Good one, John.
Oh, yes. Lorenzo's awesome. He shares and likes a lot of my stuff. So, hey, brother.
So I should be doing, for those watching, I'll do the next part of this on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I am going to do one of my characters and a DC character. It'll just be easier to get those two over with, and then I can do my anime character, and I can start doing whatever character, and then do a part of Voltron till Voltron is done. Cool. From then on. And that way it catches me up, since Voltron is obviously going to take, drawing this robot is going to take a little bit of time. A lot more time than I surmised, especially if I want to make it look any good. So show for yourself, tell you where they can find you.
All right, you can find me here on YouTube at PS Melter. You can find me on Twitter, PS Melter. You can also find me Fridays, Drawing Blood. It is a D&Q, or Drawn and Quartered Wrestling Edition. That's going to be on Testosterone Overload's channel. Just type in Drawing Blood, Drawn Quartered, and it should pop up there quick since we've already done one video so far. We do it every Friday night. It's going to be 10:30, if not a little later, depending, when we get everybody together. But we're going to try to do it at 10:30 all the time because everybody else has to do something at 10. We're going to do it 10:30 p.m. Eastern, and I hope to see you there. If you love wrestling, it's chill. We don't do anything drama. We're all hanging out, having fun, talking about pro wrestling and nothing about pro wrestling, and drawing nothing but pro wrestling. And if you can come, that's great. I love you all, and thank you, Rick, for having me here.
No problem. And I, of course, am Rick Piper from Cross Comics. I'm glad to have this live draw at noon. I'm glad for everybody that was able to make it. Sorry about the little bit of drama, but we can have a little bit of drama. We just got to keep cool heads, level heads. We talk plainly, nice to each other, and all that, folks. And we can have a great day and not go away hating each other. Go away in love. Anyways, as I said, I'm Rick Piper. This is my channel. I'm here Monday to Friday, with this. Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have a interview with a indie creator. Lorenzo was wondering what's the name of the wrestling channel. That's Testosterone Overload's channel.
I need to go find it, but I just exited out. Let me go ahead and redo it real quick before you end it. Then
Well, just put it in the group chat here, and I'll grab it before I'm done, and I will put it in the description. So if you check back in about 5 minutes afterward off air, I'll have it in the description. Okay, and obviously you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, DeviantArt. All those links are in the description, as well as my webpage. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you all later. Have a great and wonderful day. And if I can get the stop button.